Hello everyone. Brent and I and the two older boys just finished planting a weeping Japanese willow tree. No, a Japanese weeping cherry tree. That's what it is. With a double pink blossom. So that's going to be really pretty come blooming time. I already saw some buds starting to form on there, so it should be blooming here soon. That is not the first tree that we've planted in our food forest though. Not that it's really a food forest tree, it's more for his flower garden. But Sidon, stop licking the tripod. You silly dog. Let me introduce you to Hazel. This is a hazelnut tree that I was able to get for free. I saw on Facebook somebody was saying they had a couple of hazelnut bushes in their front yard. They didn't want them anymore, and we could have them if we could dig them out. So somebody else had already put in a word saying they were interested, and so I just said, well, you know, if they pass, I'm interested. I can come dig it out tomorrow. So the other person passed, and they sent me a message with their address, so I went and dug up 2 hazelnut bushes. So I'm really excited to have hazelnut bushes for free. I hadn't ordered any yet anywhere, so just excited that I have those taken care of. I have 2 of them, like I said. This one was the very first one that I planted. I did have to plant them right away because they were pretty much bare root with a large root system. So I had to get them in the ground right away. And they bound these all up. I'm gonna undo those, let it be how it's supposed to be, all nice and bushy. But so yeah, welcome to the very first bush, tree, food plant in our food forest. I'm just so excited to have those. The other one I planted, let me show you. Sorry. Thanks for catching me. Right over there by our compost pile. If I'm pointing in the right direction, I can never tell in here. Right there is where I planted the other one. So I didn't want them planted near each other. The whole idea with my food forest is just to have a variety of plants all mixed in together. So one of these days I'll do a video on what a food forest is to me, and so you guys that aren't quite sure what it is can get a better idea of what we're trying to do here. For now, I've got to go get some garden spot cleared. I've got onions to plant, got strawberries to plant, got some fern plants to plant. I've got a whole bunch of plants to show you. In fact, maybe I'll go do that right now. I'll show you a whole bunch of plants that we were able to get this last week. Let's go do that now. So I thought I'd take a little bit of time here to show you some of the plants that we've gotten for our food forest. I've already showed you the hazelnuts that I was able to dig out from somebody's yard, and then we just planted also the Japanese weeping cherry that we also just bought. We bought those along with all these trees back here. So let's just go through all of the trees that we got and all the bushes that we got. All right, so we're gonna start right here with some trees that aren't food producing trees. We're planting them for other purposes. This one is the golden corkscrew willow. We bought 2 of these, and these are really fun because first of all, their color, it's really a nice kind of chartreuse green, but look at their branches. They have a nice curvy pattern to them. These are going to be used as part of a privacy hedge at the back of our property, and they can also be used potentially as income producers because people will buy these corkscrew, you know, fun-looking branches for decorations. Florists will buy them for their flower arrangements. So this serves multi-purpose, privacy, also bird habitat, and then also potential income with that. This tree right here we bought because our son Elijah saw one of these trees once and he just loved the bark that you can peel off. This is the paper birch. And it's got that wonderful white bark. Love those. So these are probably going to go out in our food forest. I'll probably actually plant it up here somewhere so that we can really enjoy that while we're near the house. This tree right here, this is another income producing or privacy hedge and bird habitat. We got a pussy willow. Florists will use these in their flower arrangements, and so we might be able to sell those, but also for the privacy hedge and for the habitat for birds and whatnot. All right, so those are the food forest trees that aren't food producing. So let's go take a look over here at some of the other trees that we bought. So these are all fruit trees. We got those other trees over there, the ones I just talked about. We got those at Cascade Farm and Ranch, I think it is. They had a whole bunch of trees for $12.98, which I thought was a really good price for for some fruit trees, especially when the ones you find online are like $20 or $30 or $40. So anyway, we got some pear trees. These are this kind. Bure d'Anjou pear. It's a green pear. And then this one doesn't have the tag on it. This is the Camas pear. Those are dwarf trees. That Camas pear is a dwarf anyway. This one is the red d'Anjou pear. Then I got two nectarine trees. These are the Panamint nectarine, and they're a semi-dwarf. They're a freestone fruit, which is really nice. That means the flesh comes off the pit really easily. And then we got two Texas Mission almond. I have two more almonds coming in an order I made online. But we picked up a couple more. They'll go down in our valley that can be pretty wet. We have a high water table down in the valley. So got a couple cherries, a Rainier, which I do have another Rainier cherry ordered, coming in the mail. But now we have two of them. Then we got a Bing cherry, which of course is a fairly popular one. So the Rainier cherry are these yellow with a little bit of red blush to them. If you guys have ever heard of one called Royal Anne cherry and know where I can get one, could you please point it out to me? My grandparents had a Royal Anne cherry tree when I was growing up, and I loved them. Similar to the Rainier, but I would just love to have a Royal Anne. Then we got this other tree here, and this is a Honeycrisp apple tree. I have several other apple trees coming, but not a Honeycrisp, and so when we saw this one there, we decided to go ahead and get that. And then this one right here, and this tall one here, this is my maple sugar plant, or maple sugar tree, and hoping to be able to produce some maple syrup on our property sometime. So anyway, that takes care of the trees. I'll show you the berry bushes here in just a few minutes. All right, I'll show you this one back here because it's kind of a loner. It says blue grape on there, which what kind is blue grape, right? Well, blue grape is also known as Concord grape. So we're going to be planting this. This is going to be a juice maker for us. We love to have Concord grape juice made at home. So a lot of these others are the same type of fruit, and that would be blueberries. Our family loves blueberries, and we gobble them up when it's time to pick them, and then we stick them what we can in the freezer, and then they're always gone by January. So unless we really dole them out in quite stingily. So instead of having to go pick and pay $2 or $3 a pound, we are going to have our own little blueberry field. So we'll just kind of go through the different types. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus a loner of one, another kind. 7 to 8. So 8 different types of blueberries. And the reason we want different varieties is because Some of them are early producers and some of them are later producers. So that way we'll get like a whole season of blueberries from spring till fall. So this is the Legacy blueberry. This is good for late, or it produces late mid-season. Drought tolerant, that's good. This is a high bush blueberry. So there's high bush and low bush. High bush will reach about 4 to 6 feet tall, whereas low bush tend to be like 2 to 3 feet tall. So this is a variety called Rica. Oops. Focus for you. So we have 4 of the Legacy. We have 6 of the Rica. The Rica is a, let's see here, blooms late spring, edible blueberries midsummer. Okay. This is the Toro. A couple years ago when we went blueberry picking, one of the varieties we tried was the Toro, and we all really liked it. So I was glad to find some of this. Alright, so the Toro matures early to midsummer. So this is another early producer. Grows 4 to 6 feet tall. Then over here, these are Duke. This is a fairly popular one. A couple of our blueberry fields in the area, they have Duke and Chandler. So you can see, yes, they have huge berries and they're rather sweet. So medium to large berries, mildly sweet flavor. It's a northern high bush and it blooms late but ripens early. So it'll help protect against spring frost, so that's good in our area. We often get late spring freeze that ruins a lot of things like apricot blooms in our area. This is the Elliott. This has, let's see, it's another high bush. Ripens late August until frost, so this will give us some fall blueberries. So that'll be nice to have for continuing the season. These 3 back here, now this one, they're all blue crop, but this one I had bought last fall, and from a traveling nursery salesman. He puts out on Facebook that he's coming to our area and has a list of like 7 or 8 types of plants that he's bringing. And so you put in an order and he'll bring it, and you go to a local central area like a Safeway parking lot and pick up your order from him and pay for it there. So I had gotten this blue crop from him. I also got this one, and this is the only one I have of this kind. This is a pink lemonade blueberry, and it's actually a pink blueberry. So I can't wait to try that one. That'll be fun. But when we were at Cascade Farm, we picked up these blueberries here, and these some more blue crop. So I have 2 more blue crop, so that's 3 blue crop total. These ripen mid-July, and they're slightly tart berries, which I like. I tend to like my blueberries a little more on the tart side. Then these 3 here are early blue blueberries, and these, I'm sure, ripen early according to their name. So these will be 6 to 8 feet tall. Another high bush one. So I like the high bush ones because then you don't have to bend so low to pick the blueberries once their bushes are mature. So these first ones here, these 15, I got 20 of the ones in the bags back there, and then these right here I all got at Cascade Farm. They were like $9.98, which I thought was a really good price. And then I stopped at Walmart to get a few things, and I saw they had these blueberry bushes, and they were $9.88. So I got the 6 Toro. Then my stepdad told me that one of our local little grocery stores, they carry plants and stuff in the springtime, and he said, well, they have some blueberries, some really good looking blueberry bushes for only $7.69. So of course I had to go and see them, and I'm just really pleased with them. They're nice, tall bushes. I mean, look at these compared, they got trimmed down, but these didn't, and so they've got a head start. These are already leafing out nicely. I'm just really pleased with the bushes that I got there at the local store. So let's come over here and I'll show you some of the other items that I've picked up. I picked up some strawberry starts, some All-Star. I got these at Walmart. 10 roots for $3. The last time I got strawberries at Walmart was actually, they ended up all being dead, and I was hesitant to buy more strawberries there, but I could see inside the green package. Hello, Smokey. You're in the way. I could see inside the green package that there was actually some live stems. So if you happen to go buying stuff at Walmart, see if you can see if there's any greenery inside the package. Because the other ones that I bought a couple years ago just ended up all being dead. You're just in the way, kitty cat. You're just in the way. Okay, you two. Hey, don't eat that. What are you doing? Okay, so these are some onion sets that I got at the same local grocer as I got the those blueberries at the end there. And they're this Walla Walla sweet onions. Now I live in Walla Walla sweet onion area. I live in the Walla Walla Valley. And at our previous house, we actually lived next to an onion farmer. So these are from that onion farmer's farm. So these right here, I just put in some water because I bought them a couple days ago and I haven't had time to plant them yet. So I'll just show you what I got here. I got some bleeding hearts. Bleeding hearts is one of my favorite flowers of all time since I was a little girl. I love the little heart-shaped flowers. So I had to get some for our new house. I got 2 packs of Mary Washington asparagus. I do have some asparagus already, but we are a family that eats asparagus a lot, so we needed more plants, so they'll be planted throughout my food forest. And then these right here, cinnamon fern. They have these little stalks in here that have cinnamon colored I don't know, spores or seed pods, or probably spores. I've never heard of cinnamon ferns before. So I thought I'd get some, and then I got these ferns here. Now these ferns are going to be planted along our creek side because we have a problem with erosion on the creek bed. So I am looking for all kinds of plants that I can put in that will help keep the dirt, the soil, where it should be and not floating down the stream, and maybe also keep a muskrat from digging into our embankment. So anyway, I got these ferns to plant along our creek. Now over here, these are some rhubarb that I brought from my old house. I think they're just Victoria rhubarb. Nothing too spectacular, except this one has a strawberry fern that's growing alongside it. This is another rhubarb that I brought with me, but I'm not certain that it's lived, that it survived. So we might have to say goodbye to that one. It had some greenery on there, but I think it's, ooh, well, maybe it's still alive there. Look at that. So we'll keep that in the pot for a little bit. These are Egyptian walking onions. They're the type they get, you know, they flower up here and they're where the seeds develop. I think instead of developing seeds, it actually develops little onion bulbs or sets. When that gets top heavy, it flops down, and then the bulbs kind of scatter a little bit, and where those land, then they'll start growing more Egyptian onions. So this is something I really liked to have for my food forest, because they, while you might, you know, pick it and it's no longer growing anymore, the very fact that it reproduces itself in that manner makes it a perennial in my view. So it fits well with my concept of my food forest. This right here is a start that I dug up at our old place. We had this great pie cherry not very many places around here have the pie cherries, so I was really glad to have a bush. It's more of a bush than a tree. But this was a seedling that got started from the leftover cherries, you know, that dropped, that we didn't end up eating. And it started growing, and so when we moved, I dug it up so that we could have the cherry tree. I don't know if it's gonna grow true to type, so we're just gonna kind of watch it and see if it does. These are just two of probably about a dozen or so comfrey starts that I have. Comfrey is really good for their roots go way down deep, and so they'll go down and pick up minerals from way down below, way deep in the soil. And so then it'll grow, you know, be in their leaves. So you just kind of chop their leaves off, chop and drop. So you chop the leaves off and then you drop it where you want those, you know, when you let them decompose, then those minerals will be on the top of the soil where other plants can reach them. Comfrey is also a medicinal plant, so you can make a tea with it, or you can make a poultice with it. Well, not really a tea. The research that I've done, some says you can make a tea with it. Others say you really shouldn't, but you can use it as a poultice. And it's good for like healing broken bones and stuff like that. So that's something that is beneficial for minerals and nutrients for the food forest, but also is medicinal. These here are the two truffle pecan trees. I did a box opening of these a few weeks ago, so you can go watch that video. But the main gist of these is it's a dual crop. It has pecan nuts, but then also the roots are inoculated with truffle spores. So truffle is a fungus, like a mushroom, but it grows underground on the root systems of trees. Over here, these are some raspberries that I brought with me from my old house. I think they're mostly heritage. You can see there's a little bit of growth on here. And these look dead, but I do see some growth on there as well, so they will survive. This one here, it should be a, now I'm getting them mixed up. There's two berries, thimbleberry, salmonberry. This is the salmonberry. I got this from one of those traveling nursery salesmen, just like I got the those other two blueberry plants from. So, growing up in Cascades National Forest, walking on the trails, hiking out at the beach and stuff, often we find little orange berries growing on vines that are similar to raspberries, and they're completely edible. They're called salmon berries. They're orange. I guess we would always eat them when they're orange, but I guess they kind of turn a, you know, orangey red when they're ripe, but we always ate them when they were orange. So those are the salmon berries. The thimbleberries are a little bit different. They're red and they're a little more kind of velvety when you eat them. And I still need to find some starts of those so that I can plant them in my food forest too. And then I just got these two at Walmart. These are jewel black caps, and those I have some black caps already, but I want to have them in other places in my food forest too. So I got that. And then this is a raspberry called the Purple Royalty. And so these harvest mid to late season. So these will be nice to add to the food forest as well, just in various places than where my other berries are. So we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you another time. Thanks for watching. Bye.